Today, I am delighted to share with you the Montblanc Meisterstück 149 Origin Series 100-year anniversary special edition in platinum. That's a whole lot of words to describe a very interesting and intriguing pen that we'll look at now. My name's Hemingway Jones, and I make videos about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling for curious people. Won't you come along? So in the world of fountain pens, there are a few things that get me as excited as a new Montblanc pen, and especially when it's a 149. And this one not only marks the 100-year anniversary of the Meisterstück, but it also has some features that differentiates it entirely from the production model of the 149. So we have quite a bit to speak about today, and perhaps we should start 100 years ago, when the Meisterstück designation was first put on a Montblanc pen. It was in 1924. 1924 was quite a year. Gershwin wrote his Rhapsody in Blue. The Earth was circumnavigated by air for the first time, and Nellie Taylor Ross became the first female governor of Wyoming in the United States. Very exciting stuff. It was the height of the Jazz Age, and for the first time, someone was able to journal using a Montblanc Meisterstück. Let's unbox this remarkable pen, the Meisterstück. Well, that means masterpiece in German, and this pen is a beautiful work of art and is also a valuable part of fountain pen history. It was carried famously by JFK and loaned to the German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer in a soft act of diplomacy. This pen has been used by statesmen, by writers, revolutionaries. It is just the pinnacle of refined sophistication and an absolute beautiful expression of everything that's possible with fountain pen artistry. Now, an important point to make is that although the Meisterstück designation does go back 100 years, the 149 as we know it was created in 1952. Nevertheless, being the flagship pen of the brand, I think it's the perfect platform on which to carry the special 100-year designation, and it makes it an absolutely brilliant pen. So let's start at where you would start with your pen, and that's filling it up. So one of the first things you're going to notice on this pen is the beautiful platinum coated piston fill knob, and the action on the piston fill is just buttery smooth and surprisingly not slippery, considering that it is a shiny metal that you're putting your fingers on. Now certainly you're going to get fingerprints there, so you might find yourself carrying a microcloth with you so that you can rub them away and keep your pen nice and shiny. As you dip the nib of the pen into the ink and turn the knob effortlessly, you can hear the pen greedily gulping the ink in, making that incredible thirsty noise as ink flows up into the pen, filling it and getting it ready to write. You have the ink view windows, and you can certainly see when it's full. So an absolutely brilliant experience with filling this magnificent pen. As we travel down the barrel of this pen, it's made of a similar precious resin as the production model. The difference being that it has these magnificent marbled swirls of bluish gray that are on the cap that are just absolutely beautiful, that pick up different angles of the light, reflect back in blues and silvers and grays and a bit of the black. It's very mysterious, very beautiful. Part of the reason why I picked midnight blue for this pen is the effect with the marbling, with the black, the bit of blue, the hint. It's just all so perfect. It unifies so perfectly together. It's such a lovely effect. I find myself often turning the pen in my hand to examine it, to see how the light catches it at different angles. As a thing of beauty, This pen is absolutely beguiling. So the cap band has the 3 rings of platinum. It does not have a protective ring around the edge, which I wish it did. And I always ding any pen that doesn't, because I'm always afraid I'm going to drop it and then chip it, as I've seen many vintage pens have that. Never actually done that in my life though, but it's a constant concern. Now, further at the top, you'll see a very wide band of platinum that's very stunning and striking and very much differentiates this pen as the 100-year anniversary. And coming out of that is a beautiful angled antique clip that's inspired by very early Montblanc models. I adore this clip. It definitely changes the design vibe, if you will, from that mid-century modern look of the production model 149 into something very eclectic, a little bit pastiche, because you still have the mid-century cigar or torpedo shape of the overall pen. And in functionality, it actually works quite well. I have it clipped to my pocket right now. So it's an absolutely fantastic pen that gives it a bit of Art Nouveau elegance in an otherwise mid-century modernish pen. Now, above that wide band of platinum at the top is the glacial star of Montblanc. It would certainly be lacking if it wasn't on this pen, and it's beautifully rendered here. Now, one of the most striking things about this pen, and one that definitely sets it apart from the production model and actually adds a bit of beauty and ties it into the history of Montblanc, is the Meisterstück designation on the cap with a engraving of the mountain, just like they had on the older vintage pens. I love seeing it here. It's beautifully done. I like that they chose to do it on the cap rather than on the barrel, where perhaps you might have felt it against your hand. But on the cap, it just looks beautiful, especially with all that marbling. It's a very nice touch and certainly a perfect differentiation from the normal 149 and a thing of beauty in itself. In size, it appears to be the exact same dimensions as a regular 149. However, it does feel a bit heavier. That's likely due to all the platinum. I'd be sort of surprised if it wasn't. But it doesn't throw off the balance or the feel of this pen. If anything, it makes it feel a bit more luxurious. There is something in my brain that often connects weight with luxury. Some things are more luxurious as they get lighter, but a pen should be substantial enough that you feel it in your hand, but not so heavy that it's difficult to write with. And I feel like this particular pen strikes that perfect balance. Let's speak a bit about the cap. The cap screws on here very tightly. There's no wobble at all. There's nothing in the tolerances. It is very tight, well engineered, screws on brilliantly. As you unscrew it, it reveals one of the most stunning and interesting nibs I've ever seen. This one in stunning white gold, and it has some interesting marks on this nib that we can go through. It shows 1924 and 2024, the 100 years of Meisterstück, which is very interesting. And just in case you didn't get that point, 100 is across it, very large for you to see, the Montblanc M beneath it. So absolutely beautiful, interesting twist, very much like a 149, but has these extra additions that let you know that this is a special edition pen to mark these 100 years. Now, we all love in-house nibs, and Montblanc uses master artisans to transform their nibs from gold blanks to polished nib masterpieces through 35 different steps, all done by hand, all done by master artisans. One of the things that I really love is that one of the final steps in completing their nibs is that they tune it for sound. So they look at that beautiful scribing noise it makes as it glides across the page. They want it to be consistent and to have a certain branding sound to it while you write. Similar to how Ferrari engineers will tune their exhausts to get just the right feel and sound. Montblanc does something very similar here, and I can tell you, it does make a difference. This nib is different than the one on my 149. It's different than the 149 in the sense that both are very, very smooth, but where the production 149 has a bit of that sort of slathering of ink, incredible cushioning, smooth feel, this one is more tuned to the page. You feel a little bit more of the texture. You get a bit more feedback through the pen, and it does make a big difference. So if I were going to extend the car analogy even further, I would say that the production model of the 149 that I have feels a bit like the power steering of a luxury Bentley. It's smooth, you don't feel the road. Whereas this pen, the 149 100th anniversary, is a lot more like the manual steering on a race car. Incredibly precise, yet you get some feedback. You can feel the edge of your nib on the grain of that paper. It's exquisite. So it's time now to test this beautiful pen on the road and do a writing test of our own, and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, let's see how this magnificent pen writes. Already uncapping it is such a beautiful experience. I just absolutely love that. But let's see how she does. Oh yes. This is such an expressive, interesting nib. Already it feels so brilliant. So much feedback, which is rare. It's just not something I expect from a 149, yet here it is. And what kind of noise do we get? We get this beautiful scribing noise, absolutely brilliant. We have a very nice feed that just keeps the ink going. We have no false starts, no hesitation, no skips. Absolutely brilliant. So who am I when I'm using this pen? Well, I feel very much in touch with the history and the legacy of Montblanc. I think about all those people that preceded me, all that they've done with their lives, how more than a lifetime has elapsed since this incredible designation was created. It is a bit of a challenge. It's the sort of pen that says, you own this pen, it's time to do something memorable. It's time to aspire toward great things. It's time to write the book. It's time to write the screenplay. It's time to imagine painting, to imagine travel, to bring it to marvelous and interesting places. This pen inspires me to do even more, to see even more, to be even more. It is a very inspirational experience, and I absolutely love owning and writing with this pen. So this is where I would normally do the value proposition, and I would have to say with this one, I'm not entirely sure what it's going to cost. Stilograph Corsani was nice enough to send this pen along. I did pay for it, just so you know, but I'm not sure what the cost will be in the US. I imagine it will be over $1,000. Nevertheless, is that worth it? Well, how do you put a value on something like this? Is it worth it to see the sunrise over San Giorgio Maggiore? Is it worth it to taste authentic Wagyu beef? So many experiences in life are completely ephemeral, yet they make us who we are, and they point the way toward who we are becoming. This one you can hold on to for the rest of your life. So is it worth it? Yeah, I'm thinking it's worth it. So, thank you very much for watching this video. What do you think of the 100-year anniversary of the Meisterstück designation on the Montblanc 149? It is quite a special pen. Is this something you would be interested in? Would you like to try it sometime? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, why not subscribe? I'd love to have you along on this journey with us. We go to some amazing places and it's the pen that takes us there. And if you want to support the channel even more, consider becoming a member. I'd love to see you behind the scenes. We have a pen pal group. We have lots of things going on. So I make new videos all the time and I have a live show each Tuesday night at 8 p.m. So I can promise you one thing. We will see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So take care.